Hello everyone and welcome to the program Talk Sport here on Global Television. I am Samuel Odi. Many thanks for joining on today's edition of the program. Lots of excitement going on in the Nigerian league and also in the Niger Delta Games currently going on. Interesting news coming up from the Niger Delta Games that says they are looking forward to expanding the sporting activities that happens in the Niger Delta Games, regional games, to 21 sports from 16. This is a remarkable improvement, and this is something we should be expecting from the third edition of the Niger Delta Games, which will be hosted, I think, by Bayelsa. Bayelsa, I think, has gotten the hosting right for that, but we'll get you the actual information when all of this that has been confirmed, which is very interesting. So on another note, we see that Victor Ekpeba has also thrown his weight behind Niger Delta Games, as he says it is building peace and progress within the region, which is something sport does excellently well. That's why we always frown here in Global Television whenever we see fans and footballers being attacked by away fans or home fans. So that is not what we preach in the world of football, and all of that is unacceptable totally when it comes to sporting events all over the world, actually. So in the UEFA Champions League, we saw actions yesterday, but we'll get into that quickly. But on the other note, we'll be looking at the Abuja 2026 Para Games, which will be coming up shortly in the month of March. March is upon us, the Women's Month, and we have a lot of sporting activities that will be happening in that said month. So it's going to be a lot of things. It's going to be a month filled with a lot of activities when it comes to sporting events here in Nigeria, and it will be hosted in the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, where inspections have been made by organizers and they are ready to, the ball is rolling already, and they will be hosting here in the capital. So on the other side, Bodo Glimt. Yes, Bodo Glimt. I know they are the underdog currently in the UEFA Champions League, and a lot of teams, a lot of people, me in particular, I did not even expect them to get up to this point in the UEFA Champions League. But like I always say, anything can literally happen when it comes to football, and that is what is happening. They defeated Manchester City. The almighty Manchester City made Atlético Madrid to be struggling to advance to the round of 16, which they have gotten to, and now they knocked out the guys that played in the final with PSG, Inter Milan, yesterday, beating them home and away flawlessly without, blinking too much. We saw beautiful matchups being played at Ademola Lookman on the score sheet and also in on the assist table. So we'll be having all of these conversations and more when we return back from this break. So you stay with us. When the final whistle blows, the real conversation begins. Welcome to Talk Sports, where the games doesn't just end, they are analyzed. From football to athletics, boxing to basketball, grassroots to the global stage, every sport, every angle, every story.
We ask the tough questions, break down the tactics, and sit face to face with the voices shaping the game.
Kamada. Mane, goal!
Expect insightful interviews, expert opinions, and unfiltered banter that keeps it real. This is where passion meets perspective, where facts meets fire, where fans, players, and pundits speak the same language.
Matters in sports, we talk it. Talk Sports, in-depth, interactive, unstoppable.
This runs weekdays, Mondays through Fridays, 10 a.m. and Saturdays, 2 p.m. only on Global TV on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276.
First 5 minutes of the action gone. Now we are getting right into the entire action of today. I will be starting from the Niger Delta Games. I'm just so excited about this result, this report that we are getting from the Niger Delta Games to expand Niger Delta Games to expand to 21 sporting events in the third edition. The Niger Delta Games has revealed plans to increase the number of sporting sports from 16 to 21 at the next edition of the regional games. Speaking at the media center of the Samuel Ogbomudiam Stadium in Benin City, the organizers explained that the expansion would depend largely on the popularity of the sport within the Niger Delta region. According to the organizers, the vision of the games goes beyond winning medals, stressing that talent discovery remains the primary objective of the game. Organizers noted that canoeing was removed from this year's program due to lack of equipment in participating states, while taekwondo was introduced instead. They said the organizers went further to say that their plans is to give athletes across various sports the opportunity to compete, but we must also consider how established such sports are within the region. Organizers emphasized that one of the key legacy of the games is ensuring athletes' welfare, proper organization. This informed the decision to use Benson Idahosa University as the games village, allowing athletes and coaches to stay together in one location to foster bonding and comfort. So Niger Delta Games has been ongoing, and we've been seeing massive talent away from winning medals and all, but it's an avenue to discover raw talent from the grassroots, and that is what Niger Delta is doing, and it's proving that that is what they'll keep doing as the games continues to evolve. And now some kind of activities was struck down because of infrastructural challenges. So this is an avenue for individuals to come up and also partner and have ways to promote and advance infrastructural development, so we can be able to have all of these activities as it's been forecasted to come in the next edition. Okay, still talking Niger Delta Games. Niger Delta Games to promote regional peace, sport growth and unity. This is coming from the former African Footballer of the Year, Victor Ikpeba, a former international, as he applauds the Niger Delta Development Commission and Dunamis Icon for establishing the Niger Delta Games as a platform of discovering and nurturing talent in the region. The Sapele-born legend described the games as a powerful initiative capable of redirecting youth from social vices by offering them meaningful opportunities through sport. According to him, the competition has become a beacon of hope for young people determined to improve their lives and support their families. Ikpeba, fondly known as the Prince of the Monaco for his exploit in France, urged organizers to sustain their initiatives, noting that sports remain a strong tool for peace building and national development. He encouraged other regions to emulate the model to enhance Nigerians' overall sporting growth. This is interesting, also coming from a legend like Victor Ikpeba, someone who has been there in the grassroots level, now played internationally, represented Nigeria, and also won the African Player of the Year during his era. This is actually can go without saying that yes, he knows what he's talking about. He has the knowledge and he has gained experience of how well sport has been able to, placed food on the tables of a lot of households here in Nigeria, and that is very true. And we're hoping to see that aside from the expansion, the welfare of these individuals will be taken care of in a well manner, so as they wouldn't have back and forth. Away from all of those, moving in now, handball results. That's still talking about the Niger Delta Games. Handball results for March day 4th. That's March day 4, obviously, from yesterday at the Niger Delta Games quarterfinals. Female, Imo versus Rivers. Imo edged Rivers 17-15, and Delta edged Cross River 19-6, and also Ondo edged Abia Abia edged Ondo 24-17. That's for the female category. And then for the male category, Rivers State edged Imo 21-17, and also we saw Delta edging Abia male 23-13, and also Edo edged Akwa Ibom 14-8. Semi-finals for female will be happening today as as Edo and Abia will be in action. Imo and Delta will also be in action. And then for match day 5, which will be happening today, semi-finals for male, which started early, we'll be getting the report and update very soon, as Bayelsa will be taking on Edo State at 9:15 a.m. Rivers will be taking on Delta, and in 4th place female will happen today still. And also we'll be seeing the finals also, which will also be coming up today. 3rd and 4th place finish will be coming up as well today and all. So we'll be seeing how all of this will be happening, because all of these actions will be coming to an end this weekend. So everything will be wrapping up today. We'll be seeing medals. Final medal tables will be getting our way shortly, and then we'll bring you all of the updates. But the major thing that is going on now, athletes have not complained about lack of welfare, which is very, very important. Coaches haven't complained. We've not had any bad reports so far of what's happening in the Niger Delta Games that is happening currently in Edo State. So this is encouraging to see and to hear that, you know, everything is being run smoothly. So it's interesting to see that all of this is happening. So moving on now, Abuja 2026 facilities get good rating as organizing committee concludes inspection for 3rd National Para Games. Local organizing committee for 3rd National Para Games has successfully concluded a comprehensive inspection of facilities ahead of the games scheduled to hold from March the 26th to April the 4th, 2026 at the MKO Abiola National Stadium Complex, Abuja. The inspection exercise conducted or covered all designated venues to assess readiness, intensify technical gaps, and ensure compliance with required standards for hosting a seamless and inclusive multi-sport event. A total of 15 sports facilities are evaluated across the stadium complex and other designated venues in the Federal Capital Territory. These include venues for ampute football, para-athletes, para-badminton, para-canoe, para-cycling, para-karate, powerlifting, para-shooting, para-soccer, para-swimming, para-taekwondo, para-table tennis, and also sitting volleyball, wheelchair basketball, and wheelchair tennis as well. All of these meets will be in action at the Abuja 2026 Para Games. According to the inspection report, the majority of the facilities have been confirmed ready and suitable for the games, while a new required a minor technical redemption and environmental adjustment before competitions begins. The indoor basketball hall designated for wheelchair basketball was assessed as ready with minor adjustment recommended to improve court making, visibility, and lighting. The swimming pool facility was cleared as suitable with recommendation for lane rope adjustment, cleaning of changing rooms, and provision of canopies and plastic chairs. The velodrome for para-karate, the gymnasium hall for para-badminton, and the tennis court for wheelchair tennis were all certified ready for the competition. The committee reiterated that all observations raised during the inspection will be addressed promptly to generate a world-class competition event under the atmosphere of safety, accessibility, and fairness. The 3rd National Para Games continues to reflect the federal government's commitment to inclusivity, empowerment, and the development of para sport in Nigeria, with facilities largely confirmed ready and redemption work underway where necessary, the stage is firmly set for another successful edition of the games here in Abuja. Ability in disability remains the guiding spirit as Nigeria prepares to welcome athletes and officials from across the country for what promises to be a memorable celebration of resilience, talent, and excellence. This is just interesting. Like I always tell you, not just me telling you, but you have been seeing it. It's very visible that Madam Shehu Diko and Honorable Bukola Olopade, the DG of National Sports Commission, and the chairman, these two individuals are doing the most to revive grassroots sporting activities in Nigeria, and they are not just doing it for the whole human, they are doing it for even people with disabilities. This is the third edition coming up, and all of these are the initiatives that came up from Malam Shehu Diko and the Honorable Bukola Olopade. So thank you very much, these individuals, for all of the good works they have been doing in the world of sport here in Nigeria. So moving away from that quickly, Kano Pillars coach optimistic of MPFL survival. Kano Pillars coach Mohammed has expressed renewed optimism in former champions' bid to avoid relegation in the 2025-2026 Nigerian Premier Football League following a commanding 3-0 victory over El Kelemi Warriors over the weekend. Goals from club legend Rabiu Ali, Luis Dango and Chidozie Okorie sealed the win for Platoon. The Pillars at the Sani Abacha Stadium, marking their third consecutive victory. During the recent resurgence, they also secured a draw against Kwara United, losing just once in their last 5 matches. The emphatic home win capped a remarkable turnaround for a side that has endured a turbulent campaign. As they move out of the relegation zone to 16th place with 32 points from 27 matches, Kano Pillars struggles early in the season were compounded by off-field sanctions, including a stadium ban as well as a 3-point and 3 goals deduction. Speaking after the win over Academy Warriors, Mohammed described the performance as close to perfect, meaning there is still room for improvement. So we will see how all of this will pan out. But since Mohamed Musa came back to join them, I think that was when they got back to the winning ways, because the presence of a living legend and someone who is still very, very much active with the team, I think it's helping them. He brings in experience, he brings in quality, and obviously it goes without saying that Ahmed Musa is a very, very is an integral part of the Kano Pillars, and his knowledge and depth is what is helping the team, advance the way they are advancing. Aside from the sanctions that they had, you see, that's why you need to always talk to your fans, your home fans, to stay cool and just enjoy the game of football when football is being played. Instead of attacking players and causing chaos, the team at the end of the day suffers. They suffered sanctions. They were shipped down to Katsina to play a couple of their games, which made them suffer. They lost 3 goals and 3 points, coupled with fines that they paid. All of those came from, the challenges and the fight that erupted after a game they had sometime last year, and then they got banished away from their own home stadium. So coming back home to play in the front of your fans, it gives a different flair. It gives a different momentum, because this guy is cheering for you. It gives the individuals, the players, more drive to push, to make them more happier, so they can continue cheering. So fans all over the world, stop fighting. If your team loses today, your team can win tomorrow. If they don't win tomorrow, they can draw tomorrow and still get you a point. So there is no need fighting and causing chaos, because at the end of the day, the team will suffer. You suffer fines, you suffer point deduction, and you suffer goal deduction, which is not good for the team and you yourself, because you will not be happy that your team is lacking behind. So all of these things are very, very important for fans to look at properly. So still talking Nigeria Premier Football League, Finidi George wary of difficult Barra test. Rivers United technical manager Finidi George says his side must be prepared for another strain examination when they host Barra FC in a rescheduled Nigerian Premier Football League match day 25 feature, which will be happening later today. The Port Harcourt club returned to Adoki Aminsamaka Stadium after a 1-1 draw away from Eyimba, a result that maintained their position in the title race but highlighted the fine margin at the top of the table. Rivers United, who are fourth with 43 points from 23 matches and have games in hand due to continental commitment, no victory could significantly strengthen their push for the title as the season enters a decisive phase. Finidi George acknowledged the scale of the challenge posed by the visitors, who arrived unbeaten in 7 league matches. Barra FC, based in Kano, sits 13 on the medal table, with 34 points, and have steadily moved away from relegation danger during their recent run. They played out a goalless draw with Warrior Wolves last weekend to extend their unbeaten streak. So looking at this now, 23 games played, 43 points. If they win their matchup today at home, which I think they might win, there's a high chance they can win that. But depending on the kind of energy Badwa FC brings to Rivers United, brings to Port Harcourt, if they come with that same energy that I saw from the last 6-7 games that they played, then they are going to give Rivers United a run for their money. But the King boys are playing at home, and then you know how Rivers United get whenever they're at home. They all go all the way out. It's just more like a shark smelling blood. And you know when he smells blood, he goes all the way. So Rivers United go all the way. If they get to win, automatically they are climbing from the 4th position on the Premier League table. They are going all the way to number 1. That would be giving them 4 to 6 points, because the current leaders are Ikorodu City and they have 45 points. So that will still put them, they are still in the title race, and they have an advantage of even winning, because they have, after playing today, they have 3 more outstanding matches to play. And if they win all of those, it shows that yes, these guys can just win the 2025-2026 championship, because they have come close twice in a row to winning it, but they did not. They were almost like Arsenal, you know, in the last couple of years, coming very close, but they couldn't just find, you know, a way to do the icing on the cake by lifting the trophy. But so far, they are looking good. If with all of these games they have in hand, I think they are of the higher advantage to, you know, pushing further and win. Looking at the kind of technical advisor that they have, a person that is an ex-international, also has what it takes to carry the team all the way to win. But I still don't understand why they keep failing and not even getting to the quarterfinal rounds in the continental stage. I think that's going to be a conversation for another day. So we will see how well they will be able to perform today. And if they get to win, number 1 position is their portion. So moving away from local leagues, which is our international league, let's talk Newcastle, let's talk Champions League, as Newcastle cruise 9-3 into the UEFA Champions League last round of 16. Bayern Leverkusen dumped out Olympique Marseille, moving on, Newcastle United completed their stroll into the Champions League last round of 16 with a 3-2 win over Karabakh last night to progress 9-3 on aggregate over the Azuri champions. The Mega Pinks will make up a 6-strong contingent of English side in the last 16 alongside Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City and Tottenham. So looking at it from those angles, a tie that involved an over 5,000 miles round trip from both sides was killed off inside 45 minutes last week as Newcastle led 5-0 at halftime on their way to a 6-1 run-out. That allowed Eddie Howe to heavily rotate his side with 4 goals hero from the first leg, Anthony Gordon among those left on the bench. Newcastle still made another fast start to add to their lead twice inside 6 minutes. Sandro Tolani fired in the round after Dan Burns' shot was saved before Joelinton struck in heavy Burns' cross. Qarabağ had the slap of Benfica and Ignite Frankfurt in the league phase to make the playoffs round and at least salvage some pride with 2 goals in the second half. So Newcastle United are looking good, and then they have advanced into the round of 16. 4 teams have advanced. First is Newcastle, and then the second on the list is Bodo Glimt as they stoned Inter Milan 2-1 at home at San Siro to reach Champions League last round of 16. Bodo Glimt completed the greatest achievement in Norwich Maria's history last night by winning 2-1 at Inter Milan and reaching the last 16 of the Champions League with a 5-2 on aggregate, leading 3-1 from last week's first leg in the Avretic Circle. Goals in the second half from Jan Pattis, Huge and Hung Anvanj stunned the San Siro and set up a tie with either Man City or Sporting of Portugal in the next round. More than 3,000 fans traveled to Milan to watch their team continue a remarkable debut season in European title club competition, a huge number for a club from a city with population of around 50,000 people. There was 20,000 more people at San Siro than live in Bodo Glimt on Tuesday night, and the vast majority left disappointed after Inter, who scored late through Alessandro Bonato, failed to mount the comeback. Coach Christos Chovy believed he could make a difference, but for me, I'm still shocked. You know, a lot of people looked down on Bodo Glimt, but in their league, they are a very big problem, leading their league currently, and with them coming for the first time to play in the UEFA Champions League, qualify for the first time and performing this way. They faced Manchester City. They won Manchester City. It's just that Manchester City had more points. That's why they were able to find their way into the top 8. They defeated Atletico Madrid. That was why Atletico Madrid had to struggle to, you know, find their way to advance into the last round of 16. That's why they had to play quarterback and the Club Brugge, and then Club Brugge, you know, fell short because Atletico Madrid had all the things that they needed to actually win that match. So doing all of this now they faced Inter Milan, who were in the finals of the 2024-2025 season, and defeated them. That goes without saying that these individuals are hungry, and that's a team one should look out for. So advancing to the round of 16, we'll see what happens where they'll be facing other stronger teams. They might still face Manchester City again, and I'm not sure Guardiola would want to lose twice to Bodo Glimt. So moving on now, still talking UEFA Champions League, Atletico Madrid progressed to the last round of 16 after a 4-1 win over Club Brugge. Alexander Scotton scored a hat-trick as Atletico Madrid defeated Club Brugge 4-1 in the second leg of their UEFA Champions League knockout playoffs, progressing 7-4 on aggregate. Atletico created the first clear opportunity when Joelan Simons connected with a cross, but no foul was awarded after a VAR check-in involving goalkeeper Simon Mignolet. The hosts took the lead midway through the first half after scoring turn Brendan Marshall, and his shot went past Mignolet. Brugge responded before the break with a flick on a corner into the path of Joel, who scored to level the tie on aggregate again. The visitors nearly added another soon after, but John Oblak saved Honjo Valte's efforts to keep the scoreline level at 1-1. So that is how the trajectory continued, and we saw a beautiful matchup. Ademola Lookman was also in action, creating assists as well. He played amazingly. Yes, he wasn't on the score sheet, but he was very, very amazing last night, and he's happy. He feels home. I think Spain is like his second home because the way he adapted quickly with Atletico Madrid, like in history, lots of players haven't really adapted that well. So automatically, like, he just adapted. The chemistry, it looked as if the chemistry has been there for the longest, and he has been performing so much more and so much well. And what's it called now? The coach, Diego Simon, has been very, very happy with him. So later tonight, we'll be seeing other actions, big actions. We'll be seeing Real Madrid taking on Benfica, and Mbappe is set to miss that Real Madrid Champions League action later tonight against Benfica, which is a bit of a concern for a couple of Real Madrid fans. Real Madrid striker Kylian Mbappe will miss today's clash, Champions League playoff second leg against Benfica, due to a knee injury. Information reaching us from source close to the team says the French international, Madrid's top scorer this season, has been playing through knee pain in recent weeks, but will not feature at the Santiago Bernabeu, according to sources confirming a report by the sources. Madrid hold a 1-0 advantage from the first leg in Lisbon last week, a match disputed by alleged racial abuse directed at Los Blocos winger Vinicius Jr. Why does it have to always be Vinicius Jr.? I think Vinicius Jr. is always in these scandals. We'll get to that quickly. Mbappe's coach Alvaro had said earlier that the player was prepared to play in the second leg, and that he's very valuable and he is committed to playing through pain. However, it was later decided that the forward would not be involved against Benfica. Mbappe leads the Champions League scoring chart with 13 goals this season, despite an issue with the alignment on the outside of his left knee that has troubled him since before Christmas break. The forward did not appear to be moving freely during the Real Madrid 2-1 defeat to Osasuna in La Liga over the weekend. That was when the injury intensified, and they felt he could be able to play, but risking him to play with that injury is not something the coach is looking forward to, at least if you can win the Champions League, or somehow if Real Madrid gets to beat Benfica and advance to the last round of 16, Mbappe will be needed. So it's just a gamble that the coach is gambling. But talking about this racial abuse, Vinicius Junior is always in this mix. Why does it have to be Vinicius Junior? What leads to it? Does he say something to the other players who, after the interview, what we saw last weekend, the interview with the Benfica player, which he had altercation with, he said, the player said Vinicius Junior called him a midget because obviously he wasn't so tall, but he said, yes, he insulted him back, but he did not call him a monkey or something like that. And then he stood on the fact that, yes, he insulted him back, but he did not, use a racial term to insult him. So Vinicius Junior needs to always just play football, have fun, because we know you're a good player. We all know that you're a great star, but there's something he does that I personally, and some people would agree with me, they don't like. When he gets so excited, he started facing the away fans, and then he started putting pressure, some kind of pressure on the referee, which is obviously not good, and all of that instigates whatever outcome you would get. So all of those things are just concerns that we should look out for. UFC Champions League still continues today, and playoffs continues today, and this is coming from Victor Osimhen away from Real Madrid and Benfica. Victor Osimhen says, "My knee is fine," as Victor Osimhen declares ahead of Juventus versus Galatasaray clash later today. Victor Osimhen has declared that he is fit and ready for Galatasaray's clash with Juventus. The Nigerian international missed Okan Buruk's side Turkish Super League clash with Konyaspor last weekend due to a slight knee problem. After missing Sunday's section, Osimhen trained fully with his teammates on Monday and yesterday. The powerful striker has already been included in Galatasaray's squad for the UEFA Champions League playoff second leg tie. Osimhen confirmed he is ready for action again after a minor injury setback. So it shows that Osibaba will be playing today. Last week he was on the assist list twice after they defeated Juventus 5-2 away from home, and now they'll be playing at home. So it shows that he might be on the scoring sheet later tonight. We'll see how all of that pans out. But quickly, let's bring you highlights of the actions that we saw. Atletico Madrid were in action, and also Inter Milan and Bodo Glimt were in action as well. So